So it's not a great revelation that being alone isn't the same thing as being lonely, but I think with introversion having a hype right now and being an introvert is kind of cool and mainstream right now, or something we look after, it's very important to look at the difference between being alone and being lonely. What does it really mean to be alone or introverted? So why do I think people want to be introverted now, or why is it popular to be more introverted? Most of the platforms we used are meant to keep us engaged. So for somebody like me who grew up with these platforms that become better and better and better at keeping your attention, it seems almost impossible kind of to do the whole digital detox. Furthermore, everyone who is in the online community is kind of codependent on each other. So if somebody makes videos, they're dependent on viewers looking for the content. And if I want to watch something online, then I'm dependent on other people producing stuff that I like. So we are all kind of connected. We have all these opinions. Everyone can see your art online, so everyone's a critic. Everybody knows one thing more than you do, so everyone seems like an expert. So it can either be kind of overwhelming or boring at some point. Sometimes you can feel intimidated, other times it's more like you're jaded. So it's kind of too much for you and you don't really care anymore, but that kind of reaches into the rest of your daily life and you're kind of jaded with everything because your attention span is so short. I think many people can relate with that. Always being focused on what we perceive on the outside and kind of being connected on this like very surface level, we look for an escape. So when we always concentrate on the outside, the most logical thing to us is to look on the inside and seek refuge in our own self, in our own mind. We look at introverts and they seem free from the shackles of codependence. At least it seems like that. So I explained why we are keen on being introverted, or why introverts seem interesting to us now, or something that you want to reach. But I didn't talk about the difference between being alone and being lonely, and how that kind of interplays with being introverted and why it's of relevance right now. So what distinguishes being alone from being lonely? On a general level, it's all about how a person feels when they're on their own. So when you're alone, you're kind of content with being on your own. But when you're missing somebody or you feel like you don't want to be on your own, that's being lonely. Of course, it's not always one way or the other. It's of course a spectrum and it can change in an instant. So sometimes you experience something and you're very glad that you can experience this on your own. But sometimes you want to share that moment. Or sometimes you don't really know how you're feeling, you're just in between. You're very happy that this is once in a lifetime thing that you can like experience on your own, but sharing it with somebody would be nice as well, and like building this once in a lifetime bond. Or sometimes you feel like you would never be lonely, and then that one person is gone and you really feel how used to you were kind of being with that person. Summarizing, being alone is more like staying on your own and being happy with that, not feeling like you need to change that. And being lonely is more like actively feeling the absence of other people and craving that social connection. So what's the connection between the introversion hype and being alone, being lonely? When we talk about introversion right now, or like introverted people, we have this picture that we paint. We don't look at the individual or what their life might look like. It's more like, oh, introverted people, they are so mysterious and intelligent and obsessed with their hobbies, kind of not caring about what happens around them, paving their own way, not really caring about people in their everyday life, but when they have somebody they love, being very loving and very caring. And then we actively go out and try to be more introverted because we think it's this salvation from our online dependence and like all these different opinions, and kind of just brings us peace. But we have this picture in mind that we learned early on of an introvert, and we wonder whether we seem like that to other people, whether we appear to other people like that. And then it kind of destroys the whole purpose of being an introvert or being on your own and finding peace, because you still try to appease other people and you try to fulfill this picture in your mind, and you don't really know whether you do it for yourself or for others. So when we realistically look at somebody who is introverted, we have to see the reality of it. Many people that seem introverted or that we call introverted have social anxiety. They don't really know how to interact with other people. Low social battery, seeming like they enjoy social interactions but being drained afterwards. And loneliness. Just because you enjoy being on your own or you don't have a big social battery doesn't mean that you don't need other people. We humans are inherently social, so it's kind of hard to say, yeah, I'm introverted and I don't need people at all. At the end of the day, everybody lands on a spectrum between extroversion and introversion. I think it's just another kind of system we use to explain our social life, our emotional life. And I want to say that if you're extroverted and you feel it like it would be better to be introverted or whatever, don't force it. If you enjoy being with other people, then don't judge yourself for it. I struggle with that a lot. Being social, but afterwards feeling like I'm weak because I depend on other people. Everyone has their extroverted phases, introverted phases. They're just labels, to be honest. But seeing introverts as like a better person is kind of a the grass is greener on the other side situation. If you're extroverted, it's like, oh, I want to be introverted and not dependent on other people. And if you're introverted, an extrovert may seem like superhuman to you because they can talk to other people. I don't like the whole hype and the whole situation we have right now on social media being about how everyone's an introvert and everyone's like their main character and stuff, because it kind of defeats the reality of it, how we as humans function.